Bhuwan, are you there?
Good evening, ma'am.
Somebody's.
I would request all the student executive committee members to turn on their camera, please. Yes.
Bhuwan, let us start.
Okay, sure, ma'am. Namaskar. Good evening to one and all. A very warm welcome to our respected professor present and our incredible and enthusiastic batch of 2024. I'm so grateful and delighted to welcome you all at our orientation cum webinar program of Enabling Unit Campus Law Center, followed by speech on scope of advocacy and disability rights by Advocate Mr. Pankaj Sinha. My name is Bhuwan Seth and I am the student convener of the Enabling Unit Campus Law Center. On behalf of the Executive Committee of Enabling Unit Campus Law Center, I would like to extend our heartfelt wishes and a very warm welcome to our prestigious college. So, what is Enabling Unit? You must be wondering that what is Enabling Unit and what is its work? And also, I am sure that some of you have heard about this society for the very first time. Coming back to the answer, the Enabling Unit of Campus Law Center has been constituted in accordance with the Rights of Person with Disability Act 2016 and a UGC guideline that mandates the existence of such a body in every college that constitutes to be a part of the University of Delhi, with the explicit purpose of safeguarding the rights and working for the welfare of the students with disabilities. So this is what the Enabling Unit is. And now I would like to introduce the Executive Committee members of Enabling Unit Campus Law Center. We have with us our teacher convener, Dr. Neha Aneja ma'am.
Good evening. Good evening to all of you.
Dr. Neha Aneja ma'am is an assistant professor at Campus Law Center, Faculty of Law, University of Delhi. She recently obtained her PhD degree from Faculty of Law, University of Delhi. Prior to that, she has completed her LLB from MDU Rohtak and her LLM from Kurukshetra University. Ma'am has published several papers in a reputed national and international journals. She has also delivered numerous lectures on diverse legal issues. Her area of interest includes disability laws, family law, law of contract, and property law. Neha ma'am is the teacher convener of Enabling Unit Campus Law Center. Then we have Dr. Rahul Kumar sir. Yes, Dr. Rahul Kumar sir is an assistant professor of law at Campus Law Center. Sir has completed his LLB from Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi, and has obtained his LLM and PhD degree from Faculty of Law, University of Delhi. Sir has authored various write-ups and articles for different reputed journals like Journal of Indian Law Institute, Indian Journal of Public Administration, and Delhi Law Review, etc. He also served as a visiting faculty of Indian Law Institute. He is the teacher member in the Executive Committee of Enabling Unit Campus Law Center. Then we have Dr. Chawla Raja M. sir. Chawla Raja sir is an assistant professor of law at Campus Law Center, Faculty of Law, University of Delhi. He has done his LLB from Pondicherry University and obtained his LLM with specialization in IPR and corporate laws from Indian Law Institute, deemed University, New Delhi. Sir is a PhD degree holder from Faculty of Law, University of Delhi. Sir has a sound knowledge and expertise on copyright laws, having about 4 years of teaching experience. Presently, Sir is associated with Executive Committee of Enabling Unit as a teacher member. Now, coming towards Student Executive Committee members of the Enabling Unit. As I have introduced myself earlier, I am Bhuwan Seth and I am the student convener of the society. Also, we have with us Mr. Vivek Raj. Mr. Vivek Raj, who is the student co-convener of the society. Then we have Mr. Rahul Akhlaq. Rahul, are you here? Mr. Rahul is co-convener of Enabling Unit. Then we have Ms. Manpreet Manchanda. She is the co-convener of Enabling Unit. Then from the second year, we have 6 student executive members. Ms. Ajra Fatima.
Hello everyone.
Then we have Mr. Bikku Kumar. Then we have Mr. Om Kumar. Then we have Mr. Swet Kumar Singh.
Everyone.
Ms. Nilansha Gupta.
Good evening, everyone.
And Mr. Vivek Kumar Malik.
Good evening, everyone.
So this is all. This was about introduction about enabling unit, and now I would request Dr. Neha Aneja ma'am, teacher convener of the enabling unit, to deliver the welcome address to students. Ma'am.
Thank you, Bhuwan. Thank you to my entire team of enabling unit. First of all, I would like to welcome you all, and I want to pay a special thanks to my colleagues who are here with us to encourage. And this is something here, I'm not going to give any speech on disability rights or anything about enabling unit, just in order to connect it to what is the relevance of it and why it has been, framed, and what is the objective, a brief I'm going to give here. As everybody knows that education has been proved the most effective vehicle of social and economic empowerment, and how far right to education is concerned, it is one of the most valuable right. But unfortunately, the person with disability, they do not get much exposure to that, and they are not able to exercise their right to education, whether it is schooling or whether when it comes to higher education, they are not getting equally, they are not equal getting participation as along with the other students. And the reason for that, one of the major reason is inaccessible infrastructure, inaccessible way of teaching, and moreover the unawareness about their rights among the person with disabilities. So in regard to that, to encourage them for having their equal participation, and just in order to bring them into the mainstream, specifically for higher education, in 12th plan, 5-year plan, it was recommended by the government also, it was part of that, and enabling unit was established. It was mandatory to every university, to every college, to frame an enabling unit, just to ensure in their particular institution, college or university, that the person with disability are having equal access to the education. They are not getting discriminated, they are also getting involved in the mainstream. And how far education is concerned, it is having multiple effect on the life of any person, whether it is right to food, whether it is right to employment, whether it is right to participate in the political and civil life. So it's very important to get equal represented, and it is their basic right to have access to the every kind of higher education, whatever stream it is. So under 12th plan direction, according to the UGC mandate, we do also have enabling unit here in campus law center. I am here since 2011. I'm with this committee, and I'm trying to, make sure that every student with disability is not, is not discriminated, and is not deprived for getting any accessible material, or any kind of the issue relating to them should be resolved. This is my duty. And one thing, rather than giving speech, I want to share one of my, experience, because I myself is a woman with disability, and what experience I had while I was a student. And I want to tell you, even though I was a law student, I am also done with my LLB, LLM, and I joined here after doing my LLM, and when I was net qualified, JRF in fact. So when I joined here, till that moment, till 2011, I was not aware about the fact that there is any disability special laws, right? And I was not aware. However, I myself was a disability person with disability, women with disability, but at same time, I was a law student, but I was totally unaware about my rights. I was not aware about anything, that there is any kind of the law for the protection of their right, for ensuring that they also get equal participation in the society. So this is where we are lagging, and by keeping that in my mind, I am always trying to make sure that enabling unit work as a useful asset for all person with disability, my students, to make them aware that they are, if they are in need of any kind of assistance, and if they are not able to get access to their education, whether it is, again I'm mentioning here, whether it is study material, if there is any issue relating to their admission, if there is any issue relating to teaching, relating to anything. So we are here to resolve that, not something we are doing some charitable work. No, we are here to get enforce your rights. This is your right. This is your right to get equal access to the education. This is your right. This is our duty to make your entire, institution accessible, whether you will be having classes by physical mode in future, or whether at present you are having online classes. And my entire team is here just to encourage you, and just to make sure, first of all, your higher education rights should be properly implemented, and thereafter we are here to pave a way along with you for your employment as well. With this, it is over to you, Bhuwan, because this is your day. All of you, my guys, my team, to make the students aware about their right. One last comment. This is when we are talking about enabling unit. One thing I just want to give a message through this platform. This, when we are talking about enabling unit, yes, the object is here to assure the accessibility inclusion for the person with disability, but that does not mean only the person with disability can be the member of this committee, right? This is what the true meaning of inclusion. Inclusion means there is no discrimination between disabled or non-disabled. We have to work together. Anybody, whether disabled, non-disabled, you can be the part of this, and this is here to ensure the non-discrimination for everyone. Okay. Another thing, that today we do have a lecture on what scope of advocacy in disability right. By this, you will learn as a law student. You are first year student. I am here asking you to join my committee. What is the purpose? I want to make you aware about the rights of the disabled. Nowadays, this is what the disability rights are all, or this area is evolving. But I would not say that this is just at very early stage of evolving. It is already in process. We do have a disability specific law with us, the Right to Person with Disability Act 2016, UNCRPD at international level. It is there for their protection, and there are a number of cases going to the court for the rights of the person with disability. From the legal perspective, from your practice, it is also very important. You can start your career and you can become a disability specialist lawyer here. So please, I request you to be here. Join this committee. You will get aware about the disability law. You will not face unawareness like me. You will be literate about the rights of disabled. You can choose this area for your career as well. Okay, then thank you. Thank you for being here, and please stay with us till the webinar, till the end of this program. Thank you, and I wish best of luck to all of you for your career, for your future. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your kind words. Now I would request Mr. Om to join me and tell students about why and how you should join EUCLC. Mr. Om, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Mr. Bhuwan. Hello, everyone. My name is Om, and I am an executive member of this enabling unit. If I had been on the other side of the screen, the most obvious question in my mind would be, what would I gain after joining EUCLC? So I am here to answer that question for you. So by now you would have gotten the hint that our unit is relatively new and we are in the first lot of executive members. So we are very, very grateful to get this chance to build the society from scratch. That means we get to interact with people who are inside and outside of our college in order to for our image building and collaborations. So in this interactive process, as prospective unit members, you get a chance to constantly connect with the college administration and the executive members of societies in other colleges. So this network of connections will not only come handy to you once you are in the college, and also because also when you graduate from this college, since networking is the most essential skill for the practice of law. So if you are a member of a society, you will be able to do a lot of good for the Divyang and also develop a wide clientele in the future through these interactions. So in the coming weeks, we are planning to invite illustrious personalities to give lectures and talks. As the future organizing members of EU, this increases your chance of getting an internship. Apart from this, the enabling unit is in collaboration with the Placement Assistant Council, which is also another society in our college, is developing a system where our members can get exclusive access to amazing internship opportunities. So the unit will be organizing competitions in the near future where members will get the exclusive access to participate and will be able to earn the letter of recommendation or appreciation. In essence, the society will give you a lot of opportunities to develop your resume and most importantly, your inherent capabilities. Under the able guidance of our professor-in-charge and teacher convener and teacher members, the executive team members have been given a free hand in terms of planning and executing events, webinars and awareness campaigns. We believe that openness of mind is a prerequisite to having an inclusive community. Therefore, as unit members, you will be able to confidently imagine, create and execute creative plans, keeping in mind our theme of inclusion, accessibility and equality. So the motive behind creation of societies like the enabling unit is to sensitize people around us towards the cause of inclusion and to aware people about the needs of the person with disability. The society needs students that are socially conscious and want to contribute towards an equitable society. This seva bhav and sensitivity towards the differently able will transform you into a legal practitioner who has a soft corner towards the marginalized sections of our society. And this quality will surely take you places. Now, the second most sizzling question that would also pop up in my mind would be, how do we join the enabling unit? In order to join our society and become an agent of change, we will be issuing a notice tomorrow in this regard, where you will find a membership form. So once you fill the membership form, it will be followed by an interview. So that is all, and hope that you join us and become part of the enabling unit. Now I would like to invite Ms. Nilansha to appraise the students about the prospective events that you will be undertaking in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good evening again, everyone. I'm Nilansha Gupta, one of the second-year executive team members of the Enabling Unit Campus Law Center. And I'm here to talk a little bit about the prospective events of the Enabling Unit for the academic session of 2021-22. Firstly, I'd like to say that the Enabling Unit is one of the most hardworking group of students in the college. The society acts as a bridge between the college administration and the differently abled students and is deeply committed to empowering these group of students along with those belonging to marginalized sections of society. Since its inception, the cell has been active in overseeing the effective implementation of various policies and programs for the disadvantaged groups, and it provides personal, academic, psychological support and guidance services to the differently able students, as well as the underprivileged students. For this academic session, the unit plans to organize several welfare remedial classes and skill enhancement workshops, along with numerous talks, seminars, and workshops on the topic of disability and marginalization to sensitize students as well as the faculty towards the various issues related to differently able students. And the cell also aims to continue its efforts in providing equal opportunities to the students and spread awareness through outreach programs and lectures. These discussions, seminars, and workshops are designed in a manner to make students of the campus understand that everyone must feel comfortable in their own skin. And the ultimate goal of EUCLC, as I'd like to say, is that we aim to sensitize and equalize without prejudice or pity. The unit and its members are constantly working on providing career opportunities to students with disabilities. And to facilitate the same, we have a number of seminars planned with various disability rights advocates and disability activists who would share their experience and expertise on the subject matter. From awareness campaigns to sensitization programs, we have many opportunities to help inspire these group of students to pursue their career in law as well as have a wholesome college experience. Following the same lines, we also have workshops around economic challenges and opportunities for people with disabilities, wherein the speaker would enlighten the students of various policies and opportunities that a student with disability could avail so as to improve their chances of scoring a decent and respectable job or other such economic arrangements. Lastly, I'd like to reiterate what Om just said, that the unit plans to collaborate with various societies of Campus Law Center, such as the Legal Aid Society, as well as the Placement Assistance Council, so as to bring the best possibilities for people with disability and help improve their college life in conclusion. That's all from my side. Thank you so much. Back to you, Bhuwan.
Thank you so much, Nilansha. Thank you, Om. Thank you so much for enlightening our students about why they should join e-enabling unit and about the membership process and telling about our future plan and our prospective events. Thank you so much. Now, we are waiting for Alka ma'am, our PIC ma'am, to join the meeting so that we can start our session 2, in which we will be having a speech on the topic Scope of Advocacy in Disability Rights. Our guest speaker, I think he has joined already. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. I'm so sorry. Actually, there is since morning I have been busy. So I asked Neha that I would join only when, there is, I know there is a need to join from the beginning itself, but I am actually very sorry for that. Good evening to all of you. Good evening to the entire enabling unit team, the teachers, Neha, Rahul, Chawla, I can see you all here, and the others. I got interested, I wouldn't say interested in the subject, that sounds bad, but I got interested in, I have no other vocabulary, in the subject because when I was a student, I was to write for blind students. And even in law faculty, we had a student friend, colleague in the class. We used to, video record the case material for him. But at that point of time, somewhere, when we used to read copyright law, it was felt as if we are violating certain laws. But at the same time, it needs to be balanced. We have to give it to our visually impaired students. So, but I didn't know what to do. Then came the Marrakesh Treaty, and then 2012 amendments came in copyright law. So I was slightly happy that certain things are happening. And then suddenly I was made the professor in charge. So when I was made, when I didn't even know that I would be one. So when I became professor in charge, I asked the first thing, I think the very first day when Neha came to me, I told her that why is that this committee is not having students as members? And students does not mean that those who fall in the the category of what you refer to as disabled, but all students, because unless and until we all feel equal, there is no point of running of a society. So I'm very happy. I would like to call myself the one who thought of making students enter into this kind of society and work. And I would like all of you to apply your mind to various situations as to how are we going to not only help our colleagues, our friends, our classmates, but also how we can progressively do something. Say, for example, we've built slopes in Campus Law Center, but the other day itself I was telling Neha that if one has to go from PIC's office to that wisdom tree, I don't know how many of you know, we used to call it wisdom tree, jahan Sardar ji ki dukaan hai, how to step down from there. When I walk, I live somewhere in the university only. When I'm walking on the road, that marking is made, what you call, so that the visually impaired can get to know. And it ends in a pole. It would end in a gutter. It would end in a tree. So why are these things happening? Please bring all this to the notice of the authorities so that we can do something about it. And, we have always found that disability has become a kind of a culture in which the impairments and the handicaps they're highlighted. And this is basically done to foster oppression and discrimination. I do not know. Disabled are victims of such a culture. I once visited, we have very near, I don't know how many of you have done it, just very near to our Campus Law Center, there is a blind school. I once went there and I found all of them were playing cricket. And I was just amazed. I said, how can they play cricket? And I found out that the ball and the bat, it was carrying some ghungru jaise bande hue the usme, so that with the voice and with the sound that they could do it. You visit schools. Just across our Campus Law Center, there was a time when we had Nirulas, and above Nirulas was the Braille Library. I do not know where it is now in the university, but when I visited it long time ago, some 30, 40 years ago when I was a student, it was completely in shambles. And one could hardly find anything there worth the mention, because, Braille is difficult to, probably there are only few specialists who write in it, and those who are writing would only write certain books. So now at least one is happy. Neha, I'm sure you must have told them that how our library is also having certain software which can be used by our, students here. So please take proactive action. I had asked Neha, I said, Neha, you give something in writing to me. And she did give 2-3 paragraphs. But then I realized here it's not something very formal, so I'm not going to read out all that for you. Whether it is about UN Convention or what are the disability rights, where are people suffering, all that I would leave for the webinar guest, which has come here to speak to all of you. But my only request and my only concern is that in Campus Law Center, please do not let anyone feel left out. And also, whenever there is any kind of, say, for example, if there is a disability committee, why should Neha, why should Chawla Raja be there? Why should Rahul be not the convener? No? So this is a kind of pinpointing itself also at times is a sensitive issue. And I personally feel it is like telling the other person that I am making you the convener because you are the most appropriate person for it, which itself leads to inequality. So I as professor in charge, I as a teacher, I as a member of this faculty, and this has been my alma mater also, I would tell all of you, more than anything, make people sensitive. Make people sensitive to the language that they use. Make people sensitive to the comments that they make. make people sensitive to the kind of infrastructure that we need to have, and make people feel sensitive to the fact that there is something called human rights. We keep talking as a part of theory, as a part of constitution, as to what human rights are, but we don't implement it anywhere. So I don't know. I personally I've come here to give only this message to you. And this is the first time, all of you students, I don't even know your names. I would like to, in fact, once this wave is over, along with Neha, Rahul and Chawla, I would like all of you to come and meet me and have a cup of tea at least with me. I would like to meet all the pioneer and the founder members of this particular committee, and then we can work out on certain programs. You can have some cultural programs. It is not a mandate only of the cultural society to have a cultural program. You can have some, seminars, you can have some cultural programs, you can have some awareness drives which are present. Though it is not physically possible now, but at least online we can start a few things. And I'm very happy that today itself we are making a start by having one of the great lawyers here who's going to speak to you. And with this, I would like to end, because there are a lot of people waiting for me on the other computer because there are certain interviews going on. So thank you so much. All my blessings. Anything you need as a member of Campus Law Center, to the best of my ability, I will do it. That's a promise that I make. More than that, I cannot say anything to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
All my blessings. Hope this committee will do well, and it will grow as the other committees, and it will reach every student of our Campus Law Center to be a sensitive human being. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for being here. Even after having so much tight schedule. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Alka, ma'am, good evening. Can I draw your attention to a couple of facts, please?
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. Owing to what you've just mentioned, that we should all be sensitive.
You are a student here?
Yes, ma'am. I am a student. I'm a third-year student.
Okay, so you don't want to show your face to me?
I absolutely would like to, but I'm bald right now because I just suffered some family disaster. So even though I'll just show my face. Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, tell me.
Yes, ma'am. 𝐒𝐲𝐻𝐻. Ma'am, drawing from my personal experience.
You're looking nice without the hair. Don't worry.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes.
Drawing from my personal experience, when I was in first year in Campus Law Center, there were a couple of instances where visually challenged people had tumbled in front of me. And the railings that are present inside the campus, they are in broken condition. There are no, so to say, staff allotted to help them get to the places where they want to. And most of the timetable and classes are also not available in Braille or something like that. They always have to show their phone. They always have to open their accessibility apps, and they have to ask somebody to read it out to them. And only then are they able to go to their classes, or somebody has to take them. So I would draw your attention in this regard. And
can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
It's very easy to say that all this is not available. What I would like you to do is tell me what is not available and how things can be made available. Sure, problems everybody can share, but solution to the problems is something. Whenever I believe that whenever I have, like for example, when I joined as PIC, I faced certain problems and I tried to solve them. And when I went and met the Vice Chancellor, I had 2 pages with me. One problem and next the solution to it. So provide me with both, and then if I do not do, you can hang me by the cross.
Ma'am, I'm grateful that you've invited over these suggestions. And just for the
why is your face so familiar? Are you from Campus Law Center?
Ma'am, may I interject for a minute, please?
Yes, please. You may.
Oh, hi, ma'am. Namaste. I thought I should just say my greetings because you are in a hurry, and you have actually taught me administrative law. If you
see, that's what I'm saying. Your face is looking so familiar.
No, since you are in hurry, so I thought I should interject.
No hurry. They can wait.
Thank you.
Yes. But I may not be here for listening to your talk, but I'm so happy to know that one of my students is coming here as one of the speakers.
That's why I thought I should say hi to you.
Thank you, Pankaj. Yes, he has gone. I've forgotten his name.
Akshay.
Akshay.
Ma'am, thank you. I just wanted to thank you for the invitation, and I'll make sure that I send some suggestions.
Do that. Give it to our teachers, and I'm sure we'll try to do something with whatever means available to us.
Ma'am, already we are working on that. Sorry for interruption, but I'll inform him what we have done and what is already in process. It's not like that we are not working for the.
No, you are, but there's never an end to working.
Yeah.
There's always something or the other which keeps coming up. So that's an ongoing process. So Akshay is fine in saying whatever.
I'm grateful for your time, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your kind words. Now we have our guest speaker of the session, Advocate Mr. Pankaj Sinha with us. Welcome, sir. The Enabling Unit Campus Law Center is proud to present one of the most prominent disability rights lawyer of India, with many headline-making landmark judgments to his credit, including concessional railway e-tickets booking case and driving license for the deaf case. His confidence, conviction, and knowledge about his field emphasize that excellence entertains no barriers. He has represented the International Jurist Organization in the UN Department of Public Information's 58th Annual NGO Conference 2005, held in New York. And more recently, he was a panelist at the ICON S 2016 conference held in Berlin, Germany, on borders, otherness, and public law. His achievements reiterate that there is a huge difference between having sight and having a vision. Despite facing restrictions because of lack of sight, he is not restricted to himself. I present to you Mr. Advocate Mr. Pankaj Sinha, sir. Sir, it's an honor and a privilege to have you among us. Before sir begins with this presentation, I request all the students present here to kindly put their mics on mute, and if you have any questions, you may put it on the chat box and not interrupt sir in between. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Good evening to all of you, and it is indeed a very great opportunity for me to be here, because I'm feeling very nostalgic. I can recollect my days when I used to be in Campus Law Center 15-16 years ago, and today I'm here with the students who have got admissions in CLC, and now they will be continuing the same legacy. So it's indeed my privilege and honor to be here, and I welcome all the students, fresh year students, and I wish you all a very good luck, that you all become a good lawyer, judges, and any some of you might go to international courts, whatever that is. So this is all for the day. Now I will just come to my topic, which is advocacy in disability rights, advocacy of disability rights in India. Before venturing on this topic, I will just take a few minute of yours, and I would ask at least 2 to 3 students, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Some of you may if tell me that what do you feel when you see or when you hear a word disability? When you see a person with disability, or when you hear the word disability, what is the first thing which comes in your mind? Because if 2 or 3 people will say something, that will make everything clear that why advocacy is required in this field. Would somebody like to respond? Some fresher? What do you feel when you hear the word disability, or when you see some person with disability? What is the first thing which comes in your mind?
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, my name is Siddharth. Sir, a disability means when a person is not able to perform his basic task efficiently, or he needs assistance of someone to perform
Right.
the basic tasks of life.
Right. So you mean impairment. Next. Anybody else? Anybody else would like to say something? What do you feel?
Dear, dear students, please respond to our guest speaker, please.
It means then that he's more special than all of us humans because he's much more enabled than all of us to perform the same task and with the less of the resources.
Right.
Yeah, so Ayushi this side.
Yeah, Rishi.
Yeah, so for me, disability means differently abled person. He's more empowered than other person.
Any last person would like to say something?
Good evening, sir. I'd like to say that disability could mean that a person who is unable to use any part of their body or not effectively. Yes. I'm sorry,
right.
Sir.
No, it's all right.
That's all from my side.
So, see, 3-4 things have basically come before us. One is that some people are saying that they are specially abled, right? Some are saying differently abled, right? And some are saying that some parts is affected, that is why the person is unable to work. This was the perception, this was the perception when this whole movement of disability right had started, and people had the same perception. It is not that something which you are saying is new. I just wanted to know that what is there any change from the earlier perceptions. So when this whole movement started, movement of disability right means the movement for inclusion of persons with disability into the mainstream. And this movement started many years ago, maybe in 1950s, 60s, but also you will see that there was earlier act in 1932 also with respect to mental illness and all. So this whole movement started, right, where it was felt that how persons with disabilities can be accommodated in the society, how they can be educated, how they can be brought into the mainstream education. So this movement started, how they can be given employment. But as we have very little time, so I will not go into the movement, that how the movement started. I will just give you a brief. So when as a student we take law, right, we always have this feeling that we will do something different. We will not follow the same path what the other students are following. Others are going for MBA, some are going for engineering, some are going, we are not law. The moment person comes for law, I mean, I am not talking about those who just come for UPSC and other courses that they need admission. But somebody who comes genuinely to study law, the person has this feeling that we will do something different. We will bring a shift, a change in the society. And that shift will be a paradigm shift. It means it will be an exemplary shift, exemplary change in the society. So this is why we start law. Most of the people come in law, right? And that is why today we have chosen this topic, advocacy in disability rights. Advocacy of disability rights in India means what? Can the situation of persons with disability be changed? Are they also entitled to the same rights, same dignity, same equality which any other individual is entitled to in the society? So these are some aspects which I will be discussing during my talk. So law, like as you do law and you think that you will do something different, persons with disabilities are also they are, persons with disability means disability in itself is a diversity, right? There are multilingual people. There are a number of languages, a number of dialects, a number of religion. So likewise, disability is also a diversity. It is not something different from a human being. Everybody is a human being. You cannot say that person with disability is an abnormal. All are normal, but every human being has some certain distinctions. It is you understand, like your fingers, all your fingers are not same, all right? Some are bigger, some are smaller, something like that. So likewise, persons with disabilities are also a diverse. Persons with disability are also a diversity of diverse kind of diversity basically of humanity. So this is one aspect which you have to understand, and there is nothing different or nothing special. They also have same feelings, same sensations, same thoughts, same perceptions, same assumptions and presumptions, same conjectures as any human being has. So there is nothing different, nothing special. This is all our perception. What we have to do, we have to think from our perspective, that if when we say that someone is different or someone is special, is it actually so? Because the person is a human being, then how can somebody be special? See, special, can anybody be special? Like if you compare our president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he was surely if I have to say that a specially abled body, then I would say that Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was a specially abled body, because his intelligence level was very high, higher than many people, right? So you have to understand, this is one myth that has to be done away with, that no one is special, no one is different, only diversity is there in the form of impairment. So thereafter, this movement started, movement for education. Basically, you understand in a nutshell that movement for inclusion of persons with disability in society started. Now, persons with disabilities are also n number of persons with disabilities. They may be person with visual disability who are blind. They may be locomotor who have problem with hands, legs, and muscles. There are persons who are hearing impaired, people who cannot hear or cannot speak. So there are persons with psychosocial disabilities. So basically, persons who are having some physical deformities, they are physically disabled. Persons who are having mental disabilities, they are mentally persons with mental illness or persons with mental retardation. Persons with intellectual disability are mental retardation. Persons with sensory disability are people with visual disability, people with hearing impairment, and all these things. So this is another aspect that have to be seen. Third thing which I will say is that when this movement started, first time a law was enacted in the year 1995. I mean, prior to that also some other acts were there, Rehabilitation Council of India Act, Mental Health Act, but those are not very important right now because of the time constraints. So first act was enacted in the year 1995, which ensured the social and economic rights for persons with disabilities. Means they can be educated, they can be given employment, there will be places which will be made accessible so that they can access their schools, they can access the educational curriculum and all this. So social and economic rights were ensured. But while ensuring this social and economic rights, same considerations were there, that because of the impairment, some special provisions special provisions will be made, and nothing special was done to bring them at par with non-disabled people. So this is how the act was framed. Although there are a number of provisions, there are I think 73 to 74 sections in that act. So if you see, that act ensured this social and economic rights of persons with disability. That in employment there cannot be discrimination on the ground of disability. Persons with disability will be given reservation in educational institutions and employment. right? But I am not into that. I am not here to teach you some, features of the act. So I am just giving you a brief idea that what this act was all about. Thereafter, in the year 2007, please, this year is very important, because in this year, 2006 and 7, international convention was agreed upon by all these states. Basically, they entered into an agreement, and a document was signed and ratified by all the countries in United Nations countries. That was United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. And this act, for the first time, created a paradigm shift. And what is this paradigm shift? This has to be understood by all of you. Paradigm shift, when I say, I mean exemplary change. And change was in the perception that a person is not disabled because of his impairment or because of his disability, but the person is a person with disability because of the attitudinal barriers and infrastructural barriers. If those barriers are removed, like perception of the people, negative perceptions of the people are removed, and the appropriate environment is given, then people with disabilities are not disabled. They can function at par with non-disabled people. So this was the paradigm shift. Means I will try to just explain to you how you have to understand that a person is suffering from some locomotor disability, means he has some problem with in his legs or in his hands or in her legs hands, right? And the person cannot attend the class on the second floor. So it is not the disability of the person. If you ensure lift and the person can attend, that is how the person can be made at par with other person. He can use lift, because see, everyone cannot use staircase, right? Even senior citizens sometimes cannot use staircase. So this diversity has to be seen from that point of view, that the person with disability who has some problem with hands or legs cannot go upstairs because of his disability. So the convention postulated a theory that it is not because of the impairment someone should suffer. It is because of the barriers. Had we created this lift or escalator or something like that, people with disability could have gone upstairs and they would have studied, right? So like a person with visual disability, if software is given and you ask him to appear online, and you do not give the software and you say because of the impairment somebody is unable, then that perception has to be changed. And what is required is you provide actual software, screen reader software, and the person will be able to work at par with non-disabled people. It is something you try to understand. Like suppose there is no screen in your computer, and if you are asked to see me through video, you cannot do this. So here you are also disabled. Any non-disabled is a disabled, right? When somebody goes on a hilly terrain, right, hilly area, a driver of a normal terrain can surely be disabled. He or she cannot drive as faster as the driver on a hilly terrain can drive. So everybody's disability changes in different circumstances. This was the postulation, or this was the theory which was adopted in United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability, and this ensured equal participation of disabled people in all spheres of life, which includes your social rights, which includes your social life, economic life, cultural life, civil life, political life. So people with disability can participate in election, contest in election, they can cast their vote, and all these rights were envisaged under this convention. So this act, this convention was signed and ratified by different countries. Thereafter, Rights of Persons with Disabilities of 2016 was enacted, harmonizing with the convention. but I am not on the act. Now I am telling you how we have to do advocacy. When I completed my law, I wanted to be a good criminal lawyer, but somehow I turned out to be a disability rights lawyer, as somebody introduced me also, although I do my criminal cases. First thing which I found discriminatory was that that government employees, all government employees, were given life insurance policy, right? And in that life insurance policy, the disabled employees, they are also government employees, but the disabled employees were given lesser sum assured. They were given 1 lakh rupees of sum assured, while the non-disabled employees were given a sum assured of 10 lakhs rupees. Not only this, the persons with disabilities had to pay extra premium also for the lesser sum assured. So I found that there is this whole principle of equality is denied to persons with disability. And here starts your advocacy. Advocacy can be two ways. One is you start writing representations, you start writing letters, you start filing RTIs, or you do all sorts of activism, you do all rallies, dharnas, etc., etc. And other advocacy is in the form of legal advocacy. So I filed a public interest litigation in the High Court of Delhi, and in that case, although it took, I think, 2 to 3 years, this whole battle took a lot of 2 to 3 years, but we got a judgment in our favor where the High Court declared this whole policy discriminatory, and High Court said that all the government employees are government employees, and you cannot discriminate on the ground of disability, merely on the ground of disability, because they see what has to be seen when insurance is given, that someone is susceptible to mortality, at risk of mortality, at risk of death. This is what you have to see. You don't have to see that person, whether the person is a person with non-disabled person or person with disability. So court saw this aspect, and there was no reason that someone is susceptible to death because of disability. So the court passed this order, and court said you cannot charge extra premium from persons with disabilities. At the same time, you have to give equal sum assured because all are government employees. And this was the one landmark judgment from where those whole advocacy started. Although my judgment came, I think the judgment of this case came later. Prior to that, I had another experience when I did the driving license case for deaf people. When I was somebody contacted me because I was working in HRLN. So somebody contacted me that I should draft a petition for persons with driving license for deaf people. So thereafter, although it took me almost 1 or 2 months to draft this petition, although petition should be drafted in 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. So it took me a lot of time, but that was also another experience. And for advocacy, you have to start from the society. You cannot just go directly to court. You have to understand the social mindset. Only then you can easily you are in a position to argue your case. So when I did this driving license case, I had an opportunity to travel with one deaf person who was driver of my car, and his daughter was my interpreter. And the whole day I traveled with him, and thereafter in the evening he asked me the same question, because he is the one who wanted to file this case, that what do you have to say about me? Am I eligible for this license? And I spontaneously answered that yes, you will surely get it. So this is how this case started. And when I started this case, I started my research. When I started my research, I found a lot of things which are not available sometimes. That persons, if you are a person with hearing impairment, and you have stayed in abroad for few years, and you have got a driving license, you can use the same driving license in India, but a person with who is hearing impaired and has never been to abroad, the same person will never be granted driving license. So this is very strange. I found it very strange that if I come from abroad, I can use the same license, but if I am an Indian citizen and I am staying in India, I cannot use that license. So I got I filed this case, and on the first date of hearing, the court made its observation that I am convinced that deaf people should be given driving license, and India is one of those 26 countries which has not given the driving license, and we want the Solicitor General to appear in the case. So this was again very interesting case which I did. We got the judgment in our favor, and today all persons with hearing impairment can avail driving license while staying in India. They don't have to go to abroad, to get the permit from there, and then they can use it. One case was there for persons affected with leprosy. I see disability. Some people say that sensitivity is required, sensitization is required. Yes, if you believe on what you see, then I do not think it is required. What happens that because people usually go by their presumptions and assumptions, they presume that because a person with disability, somebody is incompetent. That is why it is usually said that sensitivity and sensitization is required. And otherwise, every individual has the feeling of happiness, sorrow, misery, whatever you call it, ecstasy. All the feelings are there in every individual. So sensitivity and sensitization is only required for those who work on the presumption and assumption, and who just follow the hearing, who just follow the others without applying their own brains, eyes, nose, and all in their own senses, right? So leprosy, persons affected with leprosy, there was no case, and we filed a case again. This was filed in my name personally, Pankaj Sinha versus Union of India. And in this case, we had a number of prayers where we also again said that they should be given insurance, they should be given medical facilities, pregnant women should be allowed to be admitted by all the hospitals, and so on and so forth. But what is important in this case is that for persons affected by leprosy, there is a medicine called MDT, multi-drug therapy. And this MDT is available in India since 1981. And if somebody uses this therapy, it is said that leprosy can be cured. This is the scientific research which we have. And fortunately or unfortunately, whatever you say, every year we say the many leprosy persons with leprosy are detected. So if MDT is available, multi-drug therapy is available which can cure the leprosy, why is this problem? So we said that this should be given free of cost, and this should be available at all PHCs, primary health care centers. And on leprosy, once again we got a very good judgment, and the court has, I think if you people get time, you should read this judgment. On the first date itself, court made a very good observation that when the scientific development has taken place, when the civilization has progressed so far, what is the reason that people with leprosy, that the cause of leprosy, that the leprosy has not been eradicated so far. So this also you should read. Now one more case which was discussed by one of my friend who was introducing me. Ticketed concessional rates. See, you have to find the reasons when you have to go for advocacy. You have to find where the discriminatory practices are, where the discrimination is taking place or the discriminating practices are taking place. You have, unless you are able to make that distinction that some discrimination is happening, you think that everything is right, then then advocacy will not be, the art of advocacy will not be ingrained. And art of advocacy only comes from your out of box thinking, not from the conventional thinking. So you have to be very particular. It is not that you have to just do certain advocacy. You have to find out the reason that yes, advocacy is required here. So art of advocacy is very important. You have to identify the areas in which advocacy is required, and disability rights is one of the area where a lot of advocacy is required. I can tell you there are many vacancies for judiciary are advertised where reservation is not provided, despite the fact that the courts are implementing the law. Courts are not implementing the reservation policy. So here you can always have time to fight. And as a student, I will tell you, as a student, all you students, you can come forward, and as a student you can file PILs in your name, but it should have a good research, solid research behind it. You should have a solid research where you can prove your case, you can prove the discrimination. So in this case, what I found is that persons with disability who got their ticket booked from the counters, railway counters, they used to get relaxation of 75% and some form so they used to get the relaxation. But when they used to get the same ticket booked through online, or used to get the e-ticket booking, that concession was not applicable. And when I found this case, again, we came to High Court. We challenged this. Leprosy judgment was Supreme Court judgment, even in case somebody wants to read. So we came to High Court. We filed the case. Attitudinal problem was there. Once again, the attitudinal problem came. On the one hand, the government was saying it is not an adversarial litigation. Adversarial litigation means that it is not something, we do not want to cause any sort of, we are not sort of enemy to this issue, but we want to help them. But on the other, they did not want to provide this facility. They said, okay, you can get your ticket booked from counters. Why do you have to book online? But try to understand, for persons with disability, when mobility in itself is a problem, movement, restriction of movement, as somebody was saying, is there, that at least, and the thing which can be done more feasibly was being denied. So we filed this case, and finally we got the judgment, and now it has come in budget also. Now all persons with disabilities are getting concessional tickets, concessional e-tickets in railway also. So there are many aspects which you have to see. While I was doing this case, I also found out one more thing which although I could not take up that issue, but in case you students are interested, when you change a coach, suppose you are in second sleeper class and you change an AC, then non-disabled people have to pay differential price. But for person with disability has to pay the whole price. So this is also a kind of discriminatory practice which is taking place for longer time, and we have to fight this. Likewise, there are a number of issues which I can go on talking, but this is not the time when I should talk about all the cases only. One more thing which I would like to tell you. It's already, I think, 6 o'clock. So should I continue? Because it's already 15 minutes past 6.
Sir, it is your wish.
Sorry?
It is your wish. If you want to continue,
it's up to you and students, because otherwise I will just conclude.
So let's conclude for time being.
All right. So as I was giving you some examples from the cases, that art of advocacy is not something which you will be taught. Art of advocacy has to be learned, and you have to learn from your own experience. You will be just taught is the how to read the law. Now the same law you can apply for your commercial practices, for your commercial enrichment, for your financial enrichment, and the same law you can apply for the social benefit and social upliftment. This is what I can say at the end. And in case you people have any question, please go ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. That was indeed very insightful, and I'm sure you've inspired other students here to at least inquire a little bit more about disability laws and policies in the country. We do have a few questions on the chat box, sir, if you'd be so kind to take a couple. The first question we have is that, sir, since you are a practicing Supreme Court lawyer, can you please shed light on how friendly Supreme Court is for especially challenged people?
See, in terms of accessibility, if you will see, the courts are still, functioning in their old fashion. Although they are, so far as, some tactile pavement and all, some braille and, pavement, ramp and all these things have been, arrangement of ramps, all these things have been made. But if you see the libraries are not accessible. If you see the courtrooms are also not very accessible. They don't know that somebody who is coming is a lawyer with disability or client with disability. They will not be able to make out, or some provisions are there so that they can easily function. So you have to function in a old fashion. Basically you have to function, but gradually the changes are being introduced. Like now the 𝐒𝐳𝑐ode committee is very sensitive about this issue, and when they have started this 𝐒𝐳𝑐ode, they are trying to make the softwares accessible. They are trying to they are trying to make some provisions that persons with disabilities can also access their orders on day-to-day basis. However, one aspect of sign language interpreter has not been taken care of. So in nutshell, if I will say, then I am practicing in a very old fashion. But I do not see that some radical changes have been introduced by either Supreme Court or High Court. Yes.
Yes, sir. The next question we have is, what are some of the things that you and your colleagues or your superior disagree upon, and how did you resolve the situation?
See, when two or more people are working together, agreement and disagreement will always be there. So I do not see anything where we disagree because of the reasons of disability, or otherwise other disagreements can always be there, because whenever you discuss something, those disagreements will come up, and then you have to resolve those disagreements. So I do not have anything special to say about the disagreement.
Sure, sir. I think we have time for one last question, which is, how would you inspire the next generation of disabled law students?
See, I can only say that they should follow their own dictates. They should not, listen to others. They should just do what they feel like doing, and be prepared to face the. If they are ready to cherish the good part of the fruits, then they should also be ready to face the worst of their decision, because decisions are always decisions are never wrong. You may take decisions. Usually people say that this was the wrong decision. Decisions are never wrong. Sometimes what happens, your strategies are wrong, which could not help you in implementing your decisions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Lastly, I'd like to call upon Dr. Rahul Kumar, one of the teacher co-conveners of the Enabling Unit Campus Law Center. Dr. Rahul, sir, is an assistant professor of Campus Law Center, and he has obtained his PhD from Faculty of Law as well. Sir has also authored various write-ups and articles, and for different reputed journals as well. Sir?
Thank you, Nilansha. guest of the day, learned advocate, Mr. Pankaj Kumar Sinha. Welcome again, just on behalf of Campus Law Center and Enabling Unit. We welcome you again, and we are thankful for the insight you have given. Professor in charge, in absentia, respected Professor Alka Chawla ma'am, Dr. Neha Aneja madam, teacher convener, Enabling Unit, Dr. Chawla Raja sir, my co-member, Enabling Unit. I also welcome Dr. Kshetriy, welcome and thank to Dr. Kshetriy Kumar Singh, Mr. J.P. Meena, Mr. 𝐒𝐽𝐭, all my colleagues from Campus Law Center. They have listened and were present calmly during entire session. My students, student convener, Mr. Bhuwan Raj, Mr. Vivek Raj, Mr. Rahul, Mr. Manpreet, and second year students, executive committee members, Ajra Fatima, Bikku, Om, Shwet, Nilansha, and Vivek, they all were very enthusiastic and they worked hard to make this day happen. And dear students, it's a beginning, and our guest, Mr. Pankaj Sinha, is really a dynamic person, and we have brought a very dynamic person to this occasion. And I heard him carefully and more delighted to listen to his last answer, that when Nilansha asked the query of one student that what should one do, he was very honest, and it makes him a practical person, that one should use his own dictate, find the things are there to inspire, but one knows better the barriers and constraints that what one should do. Moreover, sir has also talked about the art of advocacy, that is, art of advocacy is about reasons, logics, and the good research, and moreover, the out-of-box thinking is very much essential to be a successful lawyer. Sir has also talked about the various aspects of disability, and initially when he stated that what do you consider when you hear the term disability or when you see the person with disability. Dear friend, I would like to say that my first article when I was in my LLB, I did one seminar paper on this issue, right of persons with disability. And my mentor for that paper, Professor D.P. Verma, he suggested me that topic. Initially, I thought that what sir has assigned to me. And when I entered into the jurisprudence of this subject, rights of persons with disabilities, and I surveyed many hostels, and I talked to many persons of different kind of impairments. Even I visited, the sir was talking about the psychomental disabilities, the intellectual impairment. To that hostels, I have also visited at Varanasi. Thereafter, I visited to the different rehabilitation centers also, and came to just learn that except psycho-mental disability where one can do nothing, everywhere it is the attitude, the aptitude, and the mental barriers. Sir has rightly told that there is just it's a kind of diversity. And when we say about diversity, you would see the economic impairment also. Why don't we talk about economic impairment? If somebody is capable of having flight, and somebody is not having to afford hardly second AC or third AC, one has to go to general ticket. So it's also kind of impairment. Don't compare with the other things. Just I am giving the things presenting the things before you in a positive manner. So like that, sir has told to you that if lift is there, elderly person cannot walk on stairs, cannot use stairs. Similarly, if somebody has a certain type of problem, just it's nothing but diversity. And moreover, I also talked about different aspects of, and he himself has given 2 to 3 different, 3-4 different situations wherein that one PIL he himself has found with his name, that is Pankaj Sinha versus Union of India, with the leprosy cases, and thereafter the driving license case that was inspiring and interesting too. Moreover, so with this, I thank you, Pankaj Sinha sir. Thanks for your precious time, and thanks that, and we wish that we would hear you again and again, and and I request you to please be in touch, stay in touch, and encourage our students in this regard, and to be an advocate of disability rights also. I'm also thankful to Professor Alka Chawla madam. She is learned, she is compassionate, she is kind-hearted, and it was her idea and Neha madam's idea that why should we not make it a student-centric committee like other committees. And ma'am took time, and a special thanks to Neha Nija madam that she just did all the things to make this day happen. And her contribution is just we have assisted to her, but she has led with all her things. So Neha ma'am, thanks to you also. And
thank you to you
my
also,
dear,
Rahul sir. I'll
no
take
ma'am,
this
you
opportunity. Thank you to you also.
yeah. And
Thank you,
my
sir.
colleague
Thank you,
Dr.
ma'am.
Chola Raja sir, he has also seen, he also never say that there would be no time. Whenever we asked for time from him, Dr. Chola Raja, he was also always available. Uh, and I especially thank my colleagues, Dr. Kumar Singh and Mr. JP Mina and Mr. 𝐤𝐴𝐺𝐻 for being here and being part of this first orientation program to the students. And last but not least, since we are, and this center is for the students, and we are doing the things for the students, and the students has worked tirelessly. And congratulations to our executive committee and the convener for arranging the first successful orientation program. Mr. Special thanks goes to all the executive committee members like Vivek Malik, Nilansha, Seth, Om, Bhikkhu, Azra, and the other co-conveners of final years like Manpreet, Rahul, Vivek, and obviously Bhuwan Raj is always there. So he never says no whenever we say that this has to be done for the committee. So, and moreover, I thanks to all the newly welcome and thanks to all the newly entered students, newly admitted students, and please be part of the society. What is worth of being human? Just simply I say to you all that just be a good human being. Everything will be in order in society. So with this, I request you also, dear students of first year, please join and see and be a part of the change. So thanks to all. Thank you. With this, we come to an end of this program. Thanks to all. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, ma'am. So we came to the end of our today's event. I would like to, first of all, I would like to thank all the professors who have joined us today. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable time. This event just would not have been possible without the efforts and hard works of the executive committee members of Enabling Unit Campus Law Center. Also, I would like to thank you all freshers students for joining us today. We will be back with more such kind of insightful session in the near future. Till then, stay connected with us on our social media platform. I would request one of our executive committee member to post the our social media link in the comment box so that students can follow us. So you can follow us on our Facebook page, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So stay safe and enjoy the best 3 years of your life at Campus Law Center. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. Link for the feedback form is in comment box. You all are requested to fill that form, please.
Okay, Via, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guys, stay in touch with the social media pages because that is where you'll get all the information regarding induction as well.
Suman R is saying Facebook link is invalid. Suman, you can simply search enabling unit of Campus Law Center on Facebook. You will find. Also, someone please send updated link of Facebook if it's possible.
Hi, Bhuwan, Roshan this side. I have one suggestion for you. Can I speak now?
Yeah, Roshan. Hello. Tell me.
Yes, I'm also a Divyang person, and I already done my graduation from SGGS College from Pitampura, University of Delhi. And there is one suggestion for you because you are the president of this enabling unit. And in that college, that means that on that college, the enabling unit, basically they are connected with the Divyang person. Every time, that means every month, every 1 month or 2 months, they are going to session with the Divyang person. That means they are going to face any challenges or not. But I'm a third year.
Your voice is not clearly audible. Your voice is not clearly audible.
Okay, now I'm audible.
Yeah.
Okay, so from in my college, in graduation, there is a society enabling unit Jagriti. They are connected with every Divyang person, and they are going to conduct a session in every 2 months or 3 months, and they just want to know they are going to face any type of challenges or not. But now in this campus law center, I am a third year student. I haven't been interact with any member of the enabling unit as of now. So my suggestion is that means it's not suggestion and request as well. That means you guys at least you have the information about all the Divyang person and try to get in touch in every 2 or 3 months. That means they are going to face any challenges or not.
Sure, Roshan. Thank you so much for letting us know. We will soon do anything on this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, so I think there is no more questions, so we should end this session. Om?
Bhuwan, I think maybe the members could stay back for a while, kind of review the work.
Yeah, sure.